up, Wastelanders? Christopher here, Gaslands NorCal. Thanks for joining me once again for another conversion video. Now, if you've been tracking me on social media, you've probably seen a couple posts on the Gaslands Facebook page from Adam. I've done several builds for him. One was a really cool war rig with lots of flames and stuff on it. Another one was a Chinese food truck. Now, he wants a few more food trucks. Totally don't mind doing that. I love doing food trucks. There's so many different things you can do. Pretty much any food that you can think of, you can make into a food truck. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take another one of these Tropicool series Hot Wheels, and we're going to make it into a food truck. A burger food truck this time. Got a big old burger I'm going to stick on top. Got some fries I've kind of been playing around with. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do with. Maybe we'll stick them on a front for a ram. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, lots of different things we can do. If you haven't done a food truck yet, you really need to do one. They're so much fun. It's one of those things that everybody needs to do, kind of like peeing on an electric fence. So let's get this thing going. But first off, we got to get this baby apart. Get her into the stripper. Alright, so we are all primed and ready to go. Now I've done several other food trucks for Adam, and each one I want to do a little bit different. One was jacked up, one wasn't jacked up but had some really cool armor on the wheels. This one is going to be jacked up, but it's going to be more of the Gigahorse style. So all jacked up like that. And when I'm doing paint jobs on almost anything, just depending, if I'm going to make it rusty and stuff, I want to choose a paint that the rust is going to show up and really kind of highlight and everything else. So for this one, we are going to do a gray blue for the body so we can get it all rusty and corroded and stuff. Haven't come up with a name yet. Maybe Blues Burgers? I'll have to find a logo or something. But I got the interior all ready to go. These guys are just got some blue tack down to make sure they stick in there. So those guys are all ready to go. I did a Mr. T burger thing since I'd had hot dog guys before and banana guys before and anything else. Had to kind of piece them together and stuff. Looks pretty cool. I am not really adept at doing miniature painting, at least not in my opinion. So that's why I kind of do it off camera, just because it takes me so long, and there's a lot of colorful language that flies around and everything else just because I'm not the best at it and I get frustrated and whatnot. We got a big old hamburger and some fries to go on top there. Haven't decided on a weapon yet. I do have a really cool kind of one of my favorite rams, like a meat grinder type thing that we're going to stick on the front. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So first off, we're going to get this baby all based up in the gray blue. We'll get everything else, this all in the black, start getting it all together. Got to get the top portions all painted up. But yeah, coming along really cool. So let's keep going. Alright, so we're all based up in the light blue, I guess it's blue, gray blue, gray blue. Looking pretty cool, liking it. It's going to look really good once we get the agrax on there and get some grunge going on. Then we'll chip it up and do some rust. And I really think that the orange and the dark orange of the rust is just going to totally make this thing pop and bring it into the Wastelands in quite a spectacular way. We've already got some of the wheels, already got the wheels kind of brushed up. Doing some other builds while this is going on. Had some extra light brown dusty paint to go through and dust it, so got that already taken care of. Got the burgers and fries based up. We'll start getting it painted up with everything else. Still got to figure out the name of these guys and do a logo and stuff, but that shouldn't take too much longer. The ram's still printing off, so we'll get that going, and yeah. So next we're going to do some grunge with some agrax, and then we'll see where else we need to go. But yeah, looking very cool, coming along quite swimmingly. So let's get grungy. Right on, so the decals are all on there. It turned out pretty good. Just kind of standard, basic Joliet burgers from the Blues Brothers. Looking very cool. I do like that. That's pretty cool. Fries, I think, are pretty much ready to go. I'll probably weather like the packet a little bit, but the fries kind of look like fries. Still going to work on the burger. We'll talk about that in a bit. But first, we're going to go through and we're going to do some chipping on everything before we get stuff back together, at least on the base, and get the interior and stuff on there, and then start getting it all weaponized and armored and everything else. Going to use the sponge method as always. Just dab a little bit of the chipping solution on the sponge, wipe it off on some paper towels, and just go around just so it looks like it's chipped. Pretty simple and easy, so let's chip it up, and then we'll get her back together and see what else we need to do from there. So, let's chip. Alrighty, so we're all chipped up, and as you can see, made a slight deviation. It turns out my buddy Adam, who's from SoCal, born and bred, his favorite is In-N-Out, so he wanted In-N-Out instead of the random Joliet burgers that I came up with. So no worries, we can do that. Just a little bit of a pivot, get some different decals and stuff going on there. Turned out pretty good though, so I'm liking it. Next, we're going to get the rust and stuff going on, and the method that I'm really liking, that I'm really kind of leaning forward for all my stuff so far, starting off with the Green Stuff World medium oxide rust. Wait for that to dry, hit it with some Down and Dirty, wait for that to dry, hit it with some dry brush from Ammo, and then I'll go over it one last time once everything's dry with some panel liner from Timu, or I can't remember what the name of this one is. Anyway, it is a longer process. Like I said, I'm an impatient person, so this portion of it can get kind of aggravating, but just waiting for everything to dry. But you have to wait for everything to dry to actually make it come out correctly. So taking a breather, having a sip of wine, everything else. So we're going to start off with the medium oxide, then we'll go from there. So let's get things all rusty. Alright, isn't that gorgeous? Looking just fantastic. Still drying. You see it's a little darker in some areas. That's the Down and Dirty getting all dried up before we do the dry brush, the MIG dry brush rust on there, and be all finished up with that before we do the panel liner. So we let that dry. Obviously got the weapons on there, but yeah, looking very cool. It's just looking outstanding, very rusty. We're going to move on and get the burger done. Now, the burger I just base coated in some khaki, and then I hit it with some sepia wash just to give it the kind of the brown coat. Obviously not going to leave it like that because there's like the burger, there's cheese, there's some tomatoes, lettuce and stuff in there. For those, we're going to use some of the light rust for the cheese because it's got to look as fake as possible. Got some Hex Wraith Flame that we're going to use for the lettuce, some red contrast we're going to use for the tomatoes, and for the burger, which we'll do last, we're just going to use the snake bite leather to get it all dark. So let's get the burger all painted up, and once we get it all painted up and it's looking like how I want it, I'm going to go through and try to do some sesame seeds on the top. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure if In-N-Out has sesame seeds or not. I don't think so. Anyway. We'll get the bun and stuff all going, but yeah, let's get the burger done, and then we'll get it all weathered and stuff, and get it on there once we get all the rest done. But yeah, loving the In-N-Out. Alright, so we are all put together, rusted and everything, got the wheel covers on there, got the ram on there, like I said, very much a meat grinder, the hamburger and fries are on the top. Looks like they got quite an oil leak problem going on with there, very, very rusty. But yeah, so this thing could be finished. I could just say, yeah, good to go. But I really want to do something a little bit more gory, so if you're squeamish, kind of look away. For this ram, because it does very much look like a meat grinder. So, going to bring out probably one of the best paints of all time, Blood for the Blood God. If you haven't used this stuff on your builds, which granted Gaslands you may not use it a whole lot, but anything else is just outstanding. Makes very awesome bloody looking spectacles. So that's what we're going to do on this. Get some blood spatter going on the rams, splatter a little bit on the windshield, stuff like that, and then we will be done. Take some glamour shots and everything else. So let's get some splatter going on and let's get bloody. Alrighty, and there we have it. One Tropicool Hot Wheels truck converted into an In-N-Out killing machine for the Wastelands. Had to do a little bit pivoting with the In-N-Out. Not too big of an issue though, just put on some white paint. Was able to cover up the other decals and stuff. Turned out really cool in the long run. Really love how that turned out. Love the wheel covers and stuff. The rust and everything just turned out really cool. That whole method of doing that is just, it works outstanding. At least for me it does. Hopefully you watched it and you can go back and try to replicate it for yourselves. Blood for the Blood God, totally cool stuff. I don't use it a hell of a lot in my builds because there's not a lot of blood that gets left over in Gaslands, but if you get an opportunity, you want to do something bloody and gory, definitely recommend it. You can see, this is, dried for about an hour. It still looks all shiny and gooey and gory. Even got some up here on the hamburger. Is it ketchup? Is it blood? Who knows? All in all, love this build. Had a great time doing it. Hopefully Adam's going to love it as well. If you enjoyed this video, you learned something, do me a favor and hit that like button. My goal is to do weekly videos, whether they're vehicle builds, terrain builds, battle reports, whatever. So if that's for you, hit the sub button below and ring the bell to get notified when new content drops. I do sell all my builds pretty inexpensively on my Etsy page, so if you want to see what else I've done, pick something up, you can even request a custom build. If you'd really like to show some love, head on my Patreon page and get signed up. Every bit helps keep the paint flowing, the printer printing, and the camera rolling. Until next time, keep your foot on the gas and your finger on the trigger. Gaslands NorCal, signing out.